If you guys haven't already seen, I made a video talking about some of the Musical.ly stars that we've forgotten. And I thought I would continue on from that video and make this into a little series where we look at stars of the 2010s that we literally never hear from anymore. Whether they got caught in a huge career-ending scandal or just simply quit, today we're going to be investigating YouTubers that once used to rule the internet, but now are just a distant, nostalgic memory. And trust me, you guys are gonna want to stick around for this one, as the reason for departure of some of these YouTubers will send shivers down your spine. Marina Joyce was a fairly small YouTuber for the majority of her career. She made videos that were very typical of the ones you would see during the 2014 Tumblr girl era, which, if you're old enough to remember, included lots of pastel hair and thick black eyeliner. Marina looked like the quintessential Tumblr girl, and she would do makeup tutorials and outfit hauls. But in 2016, people started to notice something going on with Marina that they found super concerning. During a lot of her videos, you could see that she was always sporting some kind of big bruise, and there was a lot of whispering going on between the camera that sounded extremely suspicious. And on top of all of this, Marina's personality had drastically changed. She constantly seemed to be somewhat zoned out and would ramble on about random things, sounding like a robot and imitating a 5-year-old girl. This led a lot of people to make the assumption that Marina had been kidnapped and that she was experiencing extreme violence in her own home. The hashtag Save Marina Joyce trended all over Twitter, and it drew thousands upon thousands of people to her channel to see for themselves what was going on. Marina's channel grew faster than the speed of light, and within just a week, she gained around 2 million subscribers. She continued to post videos amongst all of her new fame and was still acting really weird and unusual, but it just made people equally as fascinated as much as they were utterly terrified as to what was going on. Eventually, the police were called to Marina's house, and people really wanted them to do some sort of safety check, as basically half the world thought that this girl was on the brink of being unalived. The police confirmed that Marina was safe and that there was nothing to worry about, and Marina was now kind of forced with the responsibility of giving an explanation to the world. She said that there was nothing to worry about. All of the weird things that were being noticed in her videos were simply just not how they looked. Like the whispering behind the camera, for example, was just her mom telling her how to pose for her outfit hauls. So at this moment, the entire world felt completely played. And slowly but surely, after the drama had resolved itself, Marina's channel slowly dwindled away back to the small cave of YouTube that it came from. Which brings us to today. Marina actually still makes videos, even though they are often a lot less frequently uploaded than in previous years. But when you look at how many views she gets, you can see how everyone seems to have forgotten about her now that she isn't surrounded by the drama. I feel like it goes without saying that if you were around on YouTube about 10 years ago, you 100% would know the names Dan and Phil. They were one of the biggest duos to ever come out of YouTube, and they gained millions of fans across the globe. Dan Howell and Phil Lester met at university in Manchester, where they became the best of friends. They then moved in together and were now not only best friends, but roommates. Shortly after moving into their apartment, both Dan and Phil already had their own YouTube channels that they uploaded to. But when they moved in together, their careers really started taking off. So they would make story times about embarrassing situations they were caught in, random comedy skits, and Q&A videos. By 2012, they were two of the biggest stars on the entire platform, and their fandom was one of the biggest and most dedicated of its kind that had ever been seen on the internet. As their fame grew, they started branching out into new ventures, as well as starting a new channel where they would play games like Sims together. They then released their very own book and also sold out a huge tour where their fans would finally be able to meet Dan and Phil in person. So why did they fall off? Well, there are two main reasons. The first being that shortly after embarking on their tour, Dan simply stopped uploading. Phil somewhat followed in his footsteps and started to upload a lot less frequently too. So many fans grew impatient and were getting worried about where their favorite YouTube duo was. And then in June 2019, Dan uploaded a video titled, "Basically I'm Gay," gay. Although the title kind of gives it away, Dan came out of the closet as gay. And the Pride Month celebrations didn't stop there, as not long after, Phil posted his own video on him coming out as gay as well. Fans were literally completely shook when they saw these videos. Dan's video in particular was nothing like the videos he used to do. It was way longer than any other video, and he spoke about how he had to live in the closet for so long and it had made him suffer with really bad mental health issues. Tons of people showed their support for Dan and Phil, expressing how happy they were to have both of them back, knowing that they were now living their truth. However, Dan didn't stick around for long. In fact, he basically left the platform all over again and essentially quit YouTube. Phil still uploads videos, but with fans knowing that Dan is nowhere to be seen, they just don't feel the same. The other reason that Dan and Phil sadly fell off is because a lot of their fans have simply outgrown watching them. You gotta remember that Dan had been on YouTube since 2009, and Phil had been around since 2006. I'm pretty sure there's a big portion of my fans that weren't even alive in 2006. Dan and Phil's fans at their peak were usually aged between 10 and 15 years old. So you can imagine 10 years on, these fans are going to be completely different people with new interests and careers of their own. But although Dan has basically vanished from YouTube and many of Phil's fans have moved on with their lives, you can't deny that they made one of the biggest impacts to the history of YouTube. Sam Pepper is another YouTuber who used to be at the top of the game, but in recent years, he's become the internet has-been. This is unfortunate because he really had the potential to have a long-lasting, celebrated career, but he ruined it all with some extremely shady behavior. Sam started his career by appearing on the UK version of the reality TV show Big Brother, where he arrived into the house around 6 weeks in. This was probably extremely exciting for Sam, as at the time, Big Brother was one of the biggest and most watched TV shows in the UK, pulling in millions of viewers every single night, and many of the show's contestants had gone on to have shining careers in the entertainment industry. However, Sam wasn't as popular as he may have hoped, since he was evicted from the Big Brother house just 2 weeks after his entrance. Despite this, Sam still stuck with his goal of becoming famous, and later that year, in September of 2010, he created his YouTube channel and started to post videos. Most of these videos would be pranks, where he would do things like pretending to pee on people's cars or just walk up to strangers and try to embarrass them for a video. His videos were a success, and by 2013, Sam had reached over 1 million subscribers on his channel, and with this achievement reached, he even went on a tour all over the world. However, just as quickly as he rose to fame, Sam's career came crashing down. In September of 2014, Sam posted a new prank video to his channel where he would walk up to women and ask them for directions before pinching them on the butt. After this extremely creepy video came out, several women came out to say that they had been SA'd by Sam Pepper, one of which was actually Marina Joyce, who we talked about earlier. Sam made a new video a few days later where he tried to explain that his first video was nothing more than a social experiment and that everything was staged and scripted, but the damage had already been done. With all of the SA allegations now against him, people realized that Sam was a complete creep. Even though his career was now tainted forever, it somehow didn't stop Sam from deluding himself into thinking that he was gonna somehow still go on to be super famous. So he kept uploading and the internet almost forgot about him. That was until November 2015 when Sam posted one of the most infamous videos to ever be posted to YouTube. The video was titled "Killing Best Friend Prank." And as you can imagine by its title, it wasn't something funny and lighthearted. The video featured two other internet personalities, Sam Golbach and Colby Brock. Colby was in on the prank with Pepper, and the aim was to prank Golbach. The trio are parked at an unknown location, and Sam pretends that he is a kidnapper, shoving Golbach into the trunk of a car with a bag over his head. Brock helps Pepper tie up Golbach and take him up to a rooftop where he is forced to watch Pepper shoot Brock, leaving Golbach completely traumatized. Everyone had now seen that not only was Sam a creep, but also a complete sociopath. A petition was signed by 100,000 people to remove Sam off of YouTube. But to add insult to injury, Sam set up a GoFundMe page and said that he would only leave the platform if he could raise $1.5 $1.5 million to support himself, but the page was obviously removed swiftly. This was the nail in the coffin for Sam's career on YouTube, as millions had seen who he really was, and by 2018 he was completely inactive on his main channel, switching to a new channel where he would mainly just live stream with his friends. However, recently he joined TikTok and has gained a fan base mainly of teenage boys who probably aren't old enough to know or care about Sam's disturbing past. Do you guys think I missed someone important? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video.